Welcome to my channel BornToReddit. Am I the a-hole for switching to regular milk to prove my lactose intolerant roommate keeps stealing from me? Me and two other guys share an apartment together and we split all the bills. The only thing we don't split costs on is groceries. Everyone's in charge of buying their own food and we don't touch whatever doesn't belong to us in the fridge. We put our names on everything so no one gets mixed up. This issue has been going on almost a year and I'm sick of it. One of my roommates, keeps stealing my food. I get home from work and containers with my leftovers are sometimes missing. They have my name written on it, or my stuff finishes too quick. My gallon of milk for example. I buy almond milk because I like the taste. But it seems to finish after a week, even though I've only drank once or twice. I confronted R about this lots of times and that's caused a lot of arguments. He outright denies it and tells me I'm crazy, even though it's so obvious. My other roommate and I carpool together because we both work the same early morning shifts around the same area, so I know it's not him. It's always after we get back home and R's already left for work that I notice my food's gone. My roommates also had a similar problem, but not as often as I do. I'm guessing cause R doesn't like what he buys. The funny thing is, R buys a lot for himself and is even more stingy about his food. He will literally point out what's his when he comes back from grocery shopping and tells us not to touch it. Last week, my milk was nearly empty again and I got fed up. I went to the liquor store and bought regular dairy milk. I drank what was left of my almond milk and refilled the gallon with the one I bought. This was to catch/prove R is the one stealing, since he's lactose intolerant. The next day, Saturday, we get back from work and R is pissed. He yelled at me that he was stuck in the bathroom for 40 minutes with diarrhea because of my milk. He was using it to make a shake. I only responded with, "So then you're the one who's been stealing?" He freaking exploded. Yeah, he admitted he was sometimes drinking my milk and eating my food, but he was more mad that I switched milks than the fact that he was caught. I told him I wouldn't have done that if he'd just stopped taking my stuff from the fridge, or at least told the truth instead of trying to make it seem like I was making it up. My roommate backed me up and thought it was kinda funny he got payback for stealing from us. It's a little tenser and my roommate told me R is trying to convince him to agree to kick me out. Little does he know we are both looking to move somewhere else together cause we are sick of his shit. I told some buddies what happened and if you think I was an asshole for that, I feel like I'm not in the wrong here. He was taking my food and not even owning up to it and I wanted to prove it. Does that make me the a-hole? Not the a-hole. As you said, if R wasn't stealing your food, he wouldn't have had a problem. Also, it's not like this is a life-threatening allergy. It causes a minor, if smelly, inconvenience. As someone who has lactose intolerance I can agree. You may get explosive diarrhea or really gassy, but it ain't life-threatening. It can also become hella painful, although still not life-threatening, and still well deserved. How dare you make me face the consequences of my own actions. Imagine a thief is used to burglarizing a home because all he had to do is punt the chihuahua to break in, and suddenly one day it gets replaced with a Rottweiler and the thief then complains to the homeowners how dare they get a new flesh-tearing dog his roommate. Am I the a-hole for suggesting that a friend that doesn't like being in the presence of drinking shouldn't make a habit of going to bars? A group of my friends enjoy going out to see music performed at a variety of local bars and pubs. One of my friends loves music, however doesn't drink herself and doesn't like being in the presence of people that are drinking. We have made the nights out to see music a bit of a habit, and as of recently this one friend has expressed more and more discomfort with the fact that the rest of us choose to drink when we attend such places. Now nobody has ever gotten to the point where they need to be babysat or become unruly, but we do often have multiple drinks in one night and enjoy taking shots. The uncomfortable friend has started asking others not to come with us so she can enjoy the music without being surrounded by drinking, and has tried to enforce a 2-drink maximum amongst the friend group. Am I the a-hole for suggesting that she can't really tell people not to come to a public place, and that if she is so bothered by drinking, that bars probably aren't a good place for her to make plans to attend? And that her discomfort is her own problem and not everybody else's? Edit to add clarity, drinking nights out certainly aren't the only entertainment for this group. One of us has a pool that we hang out at, we spend time swimming in a nearby lake, kayaking, visiting restaurants. One of us is always inviting others to work out with her. Her and I will go out to see music, sometimes separate from the bigger group, where I'll order a beer, but won't be taking shots by myself. I'm totally game for a sober night, as I believe the rest of the group would be if the setting wasn't at a bar. I can't remember the last time, if ever, the friend in question has planned anything or suggested any sort of plans to the group. Between rideshare and enough of us going out where one person can commit to being the DD and rotate responsibilities, drinking and driving hasn't been a problem for the group. For those of you wondering why I'm asking if am I the a-hole, I'm specifically asking about the delivery in speaking with her. Telling her to not go if other people drinking is going to be bothersome for her. Not the a-hole. Your friend is making a conscious choice to not drink, and that's her choice to make. She is also choosing to go to places where drinking is typical, and that means she has to deal with the consequences of her choices. Am I the a-hole for telling Cashier that wasn't the girl's credit card? Throw away because husband told me I was the a-hole and want to know before I get home and argue. On phone format is bad. I was in a higher end department store today, rhymes with looming tales, and happened to end up next to two teenage aged girls while shopping. One of the girls had picked out a pair of very expensive boots and they were both fawning over them. Second girl must have looked at price tag and asks boots girl if she's really gonna spend that much on boots. Girl with boots says something along the lines of it's fine, I have my dad's credit card, I'm not paying, which instantly caught my attention because that's not her card. I've told my son multiple times he's never allowed to use my card, so I'm interested to see how this girl thinks she's going to get away with fraud, but had split up from the girls at this point because they had found something else. We end up at the same register, me behind, and I see her total hit well over 4 digits. The girl is about to swipe her card when I decide that I can't let her get away with something like this and someone has to parent this kid if no one else will. I tell Cashier that isn't her card, but her father's, and I'm not sure she has permission. Girl and friend turn and glare at me, giving me possibly the dirtiest look I've ever seen. I swear this girl was going to throw a tantrum right there. I don't think she was ever told no. Girl tells Cashier her father gave her the card to shop with because it's the store's credit card and it gives him the points. Now that I've pointed out it wasn't hers, Cashier tells her she can't use that card. Girl tries to show ID to prove they have the same last name. Yeah, that will help, and I tell her it's still fraud. Girl says it's not fraud because she has permission and tells me to mind my own business. I tell her that it is my business, that she's doing something illegal, she needs to pay with her own card or I call the cops. Girl is pissed now, and people are glaring at me. She uses her own card and leaves crying. Cashier looks mad at me, and I tell my husband when I get home, only for him to agree I was in the wrong. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? But it was something illegal, so it is her booziness. I thought the part about someone needing to parent this child was bad, but this is some Karen bullshit. I just love the sense of self-righteousness that she swooped in and finally a martyr, nay, a savior has at long last arrived to tell this girl no, not today Satan. Spare me. Entitlement was the perfect word. You're the a-hole opus. Edit, nay not nay. Only once every 1,000 years does such a hero grace the earth to do what all else have failed to do, parent other people's children. The mystics have foretold this legendary figure throughout the realms, anxiously awaiting her arrival. Rejoice, for she is here, Karen the corrector of children. Marvel at her superiority. I don't remember foretelling that. If you had to vote for the most a-hole story from all 3 to be president, which one would you choose, and why? And don't forget, Subscribe or I'll insert tiny little pieces of shattered glass directly into your pee hole.